Greetings sir, I am John Bayan B. Akalang. We are here to present to you our code explanation. So for the first presenter, we have Mr. Paul Bernal.
Well, greetings everyone. I am Paul Vincent Bernal. So in this video, I'll be explaining our A-library system. So in this A-library system, there's a feature for user registration and search users. So in this HTML code, so div for the user registration from container. So there's an input for the username and select for the user role. So it's a drop-down menu for that, and there's a button for add user. So for the search users, so there's an input for the search user, search by username, or we also use a table for username and role and actions. And for the T-body, there's the user list. So since we need to implement a jQuery, so we we put the jQuery link in this HTML code. So first this from the jQuery website. So there's the code for that, and we paste in our HTML. So we need to proceed to our library class. So in this class, there's a constructor for the we use this keyword for these users and these books and this browsing history. So for the users, since I'll be discussing about the users, we use a what I call this local storage. So since we need to use based on the requirements, and this reference is from week 15 in the module. So proceed to the add user function. So in this line of code, we create a function for our add user ID. Add user ID is in our extended code. As you can see, there's an add user. So inside this function, we declare a let username. So since we use a jQuery, so instead of using document that will get element by ID, so we use a dollar sign to simplify the code. So we call the username ID dot val. So this means for the value of the field. So same as role, so user dot role and that value. So in this line of code, we use if statement to validate if the field is empty. So the field is empty, there's an alert message for enter the required fields, and we also use return. So I'll run this code to show you the output. So as you can see, first our A library system UI. So let me get simple. So if I click this register button without filling these fields, so as you can see, there's an error message. So please enter the required fields. So it's working, and we back to our code. Um, Continue for our with user if the user input a valid value inside our fields. So we use a user for username and user role. So since we need to implement the encapsulation based on the requirements, so this library class is connected to another class for user.js. So as you can see, this username and user role is in our user.js. So as you can see, here's the class for the user, and there's a private attributes for username and role. So we also declare a constructor for the username and user role. So we use this keyword to initialize the username and user role. And also, we also use a get username to get the username and get role to get the user role. So back to the code in the library.js. So um, there's another function for the add user. So this function, so if the user input a valid value in our field, so this that users that push user. So we use a push method. So and we also implement the local storage. So if the user display in the table whenever the application is closed or refresh, so the record is always display in the table. That's the use of local storage. So Also this that render users. So there's a alert message for user registered successfully. So later I'll be showing you the output for that. So we proceed for the render users for the search filtering for our users in the table. So we declare a variable for user list to access the user list ID from our HTML code. There's the there's the code for that, the body user list. So there's a method inside this for user that this is empty. So we use this keyword this that user. So we use for each to access the user and the index. So we also use if statement for filtering username that to lowercase that equals filter to lowercase. So whenever the user input a lowercase or uppercase, it's always applicable and the process is always continue. So we create an element for our TR, so a lit row the TR, so X is the TR for our table row. Inside this, so let name that cell, so the TD, so the T body is the TD, so create element and that text. So the text value is the username. So username input on the fields. Same as we also create an element role cell. So there's a TD for that text. So the text value is the user role. Next for the late actions. So late actions that we do for the actions to display to the table since we have an action head. So inside these actions, we create element for the edit button. So edit button and that text, so the text value is edit and add class edit button. Next for the save button inside the we create another button that takes save. So add that plus save button. So we make an plus save again. So in this case, we hide this save. So it is show after the user click the edit button. So and also we add a delete button. We create another button text value is delete add plus delete again. So in this line of code, we also create a function for our um, edit button, edit button dot on click. So this dot toggle dot user. So we use keyword to call the another method for the toggle user, toggle, toggle edit user. So once here is the function for toggle edit user. So let can put if the user click the toggle edit. So we create an element for the input field, input that value, this user's index and the username. So the user allowed to edit the fields by clicking the toggle edit user. So name that cell empty that append input. So the name cell, so it append the input field to allow the user to input another to change the value of the fields. So edit that button that hide. So after clicking that, the edit button will hide and the save button will show using the show method. So next for the save user, so as you can see, there's a function for the save button on click. So we use keyword this the save user to call the save user function. So we declare a let new name cell that find input that value. So there's a validation for that. If we use a if statement for not new name, so alert name cannot be empty. If the input field is empty, so there's a alert message name cannot be empty. And after that, if the user successfully input new value in the fields, this that user's index that username new name. So it will be variable for that. So we also use a local storage set item users. So this the render users. So and last for the delete button on click. So we also create a function for our delete. So delete button. So actions that append edit button, save and delete button. So as you can see, this is a function for delete user. So we declare a we declare a data type boolean for this delete for the confirmation and use also the if statement for to validate if this delete is equal to true. So this that user splice in this one. So the user will be deleted if the this deleted boolean is equal to true. We also implement this users. So else if the user cancel this confirmation, so there's an alert message no user deleted. So back to the output, and I'll show you this. So whenever I click, for example, admin and administrator and register, so once there's a user registered successfully. So it's now for that users alert user registered successfully. So okay, and so once in the table, there's an admin and administrator. So for the edit for the button edit, so we allow to click this. So as you can see, there's an input field to allow the user to change the value of the username. So as you remember, a while ago we discussed the edit button, the function for the tagging edit user. So I change this to administrator. So when I click this same button, so as you can see, there's change to administrator. And also if I want to search for the filtering, while ago I'll be discussing the render users to filter the username. So if I type an add name, so as you can see, there's the administrator will display. There's a search. So if for example this username will display based on the filtering to search users. And next for the delete. So if I want to delete this username, so I will click the delete button. As you can see, there's a confirmation. Are you sure to delete this user? So there's the delete user. There is the confirmation to that I discussed a while ago. So if I click this cancel, so it display the else no user deleted. So you can see no user deleted. So if I confirm a user don't delete this user, so this expand this statement. So this user splice. So click OK. So for our local storage, so whenever I request this, so this record will always be displayed. And whenever I close this application and try to run this again, so as you can see, this record is always in the table. So whenever that's the importance of local storage. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching and listening. God bless.
Dalang greetings, sir. I am John Brian Nakalain. I am here to explain the add book, show notification, and vendor book function. So first, we use a add book method to lets you add a book to the array using push function. After that, it will save the book to the local storage using JSON. Then it will update the book.display. So this function will create a new div for the message. We also add a CSS class for styling like success or error. Then set the notification type. So here it will position the notification after the book form. We also use a animation to make it appear smoothly. We also add a delay for 2 seconds and we set the fade out animation to zero point 0.5 seconds. After that, the notification will be removed from the DOM. So this function will, these methods will filter a book. So first we set the default filter to empty. Then it will get the table where book are displayed. Then it will look to book to check if the book matches the search filter. Then here it will create a row for the books. Then here it will create a cells for book details and also it shows the availability status of the book. We also create a cell for action button and we also create a button for editing, saving, borrowing, returning, and deleting. Then We set the link handle for the edit button to trigger the edit mode. We append all the button to the action cell, then we add all cells to the row, and that's all. Okay. Dangal greetings sir, I am Jan Bayan Nakanahin. I am here to explain the book class. So this class will create a book object that has a access control property. So here we declared our class field and constructor to private, meaning it can be only accessed in this class. So in order to access the data, we use a getters methods to allows them to be accessed by in another class. And that's all. Thank you.
Dangal greetings. I am Fancy Bitesilia and I will discuss the Tagalog book method, save book method, and the delete book method. So moving on to the edit, edit book method. So first what we need to do is to create a parameter wherein the index, title cell, author cell, category cell, and edit button and save button. So this will do is to allow the method to receive a different inputs when called. This means that we can use the same function for different books. And after that is to create a input field for title and the author. And after that, it creates an input elements for the book's title and author, and it assigns the current title and author from this book dot index. After creating a input fields, we now is to create a drop down or selecting category. It defines an array category option. So as you can see here, the array category option. Next is populate the drop-down with option. It loops through the category list and create option elements. If category matches the current book category, it marks selected and it's append each option to drop-down category select. After that is we now after that is now we replace the table cells with editable inputs, wherein it clears the existing content inside each table cell and insert newly created input fields and drop out into respective cell. So it is what happened. And for this line of code, it hide the edit button and show the save button. So moving on to the save book method. First is we also create a parameter here, index, title cell, author cell, category cell, edit button, and save button. This parameter help the identify which book is being edited and allow updating its details. Now is we get the new values from it input fields using that find. Um, this line of code shows that it has a error handling if the user make the input field empty. So that ito lang po yung ginagawa nito. And for this line of code, this will do is update the book's title, author, and category at a given index in the books array. So this will do is to update the newly input books or title or category. And after updated, it will stored using JSON and refresh the book list in the table using a render.books. So that's all for the save book method. Moving on to the deleted button. In delete method, first is the computer will ask for confirmation if the user want to delete it, and it will pop up this line of code. If the user pop up okay, and the deleted will becomes true, and if the user click cancel, the else statement will pop up. And it also use a JSON here for the local storage to make sure that the deletion is permanent even after the page is refreshed. And for the render books, this will do is to update the displayed list and remove the deleted book. So that's all for the edit book method, save book method, and the deleted book method. So now I will show you guys the UI of it. So guys, I will show you how the edit button, save button, and the delete button function will do. So now let's create a box here. So I will just choose a One Piece, and the author of it is Oda. Then select category is fiction and art book. So for now, let's first test the edit button. Let's say that I want it to be 2-piece. And as you can see here, the edit button will now be the save button. And after that, we now save it. And as you can see, the 1 piece will become a 2-piece. So for the delete button, as you can see here, this will be a pop-up wherein if it is cancelled, the book will be not deleted. And if the user enter a OK, the book will be deleted. So that's all for the UI or the function of the book itself. Thank you.
Dangal greetings. I'm Jexken Sanji De Leon and I will be discussing the borrow and returning book. Borrow book index. So when a user wants to borrow a book, the system first needs to check if the users exist. The system prompts the user to enter their username. If the input is empty, an alert appears letting them know that they need to provide a username. Then, it checks if the username is already registered. If it isn't, the user gets another alert saying they need to register first before borrowing a book. Once the user is verified, we change the book status to borrowed by setting available to false. Then, we log this borrowing event into borrowing history. The history includes the username, book title, author, the date it was borrowed, and we set not yet returned as the return date. Now that we have updated the book status and saved the borrowing details, we need to make sure the data persists even after the page is refreshed. We do this by storing the updated book list and borrowing history in a local storage. After that, we refresh the book list and history so that the changes reflect on the page immediately. Return book index. Now, let's move on to the returning a book. When a user decided to return a book, the system changes the book status back to true, meaning it is now available for others to borrow. Now that the book is returned, we need to update the borrowing history to include the exact return date. The system looks for the corresponding entry in borrowing history and changes not yet returned to the current date and time. This ensures that every borrowing transaction is properly recorded, including when the book was borrowed and when it was returned. Finally, just like before, we save the updated data to local storage and refresh the book list and history so that the return book appears as available again. This completes the return process, making sure everything is up to date.
My name is Manila Abunas and I will explain the render borrowing history and clear history. First, I will explain the render borrowing history. This function is responsible for displaying the borrowing history on an HTML table. It selects the table element with the ID history list using jQuery and assign it to history list. History list.empty. It clears any existing content in the history list table, avoid duplicate entries. And for this borrowing history for each entry iterates over the borrowing history array where each entry represents a borrowing record. For this let row is equals to tr, it creates a new table for row. And for this row.append and td, it creates td elements table cells and fills them with corresponding data from entry, username, book, title, and author, date borrowed, and date returned. And for this history list.append row, it appends the newly created row to the history list table. And for the document ready function, this ensures that the jQuery function executes only after the document is fully loaded. Wait for the DOM to be fully loaded before executing the enclosed code. And for this clear history.click function, it binds a click event to the button with ID clear history. And for this, let confirm delete is equals to confirm. It display a confirmation dialog asking the user if they want to clear the history. If confirm delete, checks if the user click OK, confirmation is true. And history list.empty clears the borrowing history table. And for local storage that remove item borrowing history, removes the saved borrowing history from local storage, ensuring it doesn't persist after page reload. And for this alert, it display an alert to confirm that the history has been cleared. For this code, let library is equals to new library. It creates an instance of the library class. And let's move on to our output. First, you need to click the borrow button, and it will ask you, are you sure you want to borrow this book? And click OK and enter your username. Example 3. And the status will change to borrowed. And the book you borrowed, it will display here. And you can clear the history for clicking this button, clear history. And it will ask you, are you sure you want to clear all history? And click OK. And now the history is now deleted. And for clicking this button, generate history report, it will generate the history. And that's all.